let's offer huge congratulations to Britain's very first rock and roll star. Who are we talking about? Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here in the heart of London. Hope you're keeping well, and for those of a, shall we say, seasoned days, you'll know instantly who I'm speaking about, because this man created, of course, the British sound of rock and roll. Some might say that truly started previously with Lonnie Donegan and his skiffle group, but it was this particular man, oh yes, Tommy Steele, that really got them rocking with the Cavemen. Remember that? Tommy was discovered, let me tell you, at the Two Eyes Coffee Bar alongside so many other big names of that era. Who remembers Marty Wilde, still going strong at 80 plus, brand new album out recently, got into the charts. The ever wonderful Sir Cliff Richard, but now we can say wonderfully Sir Tommy Steele, otherwise known as Tommy Hicks originally. Now, I've been lucky enough as ever in my wonderful career to be able to interview some of these true greats, and Tommy really has spanned so many eras. When you think about it, he started out, as I say, as a rock and roller, but very quickly turned into an all-round entertainer, because that's really where his interest lay. Tommy, of course, then went on to have a stellar career, not just on stage, but in film too. Who remembers that classic track, Little White Bull? But Tommy also remained a huge favourite with the British monarchy, and Tommy shared this particular story at the very start of his career. It wasn't going well, and he'd been invited on to a Royal Command show, otherwise now known as the Royal Variety Show. But back then it was seen really as very prestigious to be invited on, and Tommy really was an upstart, you know, a newcomer. They weren't really that keen on him, as he pointed out. In fact, he told me that his mum and dad could only watch him on television, on the TV and the local pub, because they didn't have one. They couldn't afford it. Well, that was way back in the late 50s, of course. Tommy, though, gets onto stage doing incredibly well, but the audience are slightly unreceptive. After all, they're mainly not the rock and roll crowd. But he told me this: our gracious Queen Mother, yes, the Queen's mother, leaned out of the royal box, resplendent in all of those jewels and, of course, those white gloved hands, and started the clapping off. Once they all noted that the Queen Mother had decided to join in, as he had asked from the stage, the place erupted and Tommy became a sensation. Now, it's a lovely story, isn't it? Because he genuinely said if it wasn't for her, he could have possibly literally died a death at the Royal Variety performance, and who knows where his career could have gone. Tommy's gone on to great strengths, though, over the years. As I say, he's a rather private star, and I was lucky enough to interview him at his favourite home, the London Palladium. In fact, he's a star that's made so many appearances there. I think it now rivals another great, the Phantom star, Michael Crawford. So you can imagine, you know, they've both done incredibly well. But Tommy finally has become Sir Tommy Steele. Interesting to note as well, when we were interviewing him at the Palladium, it was there because he had a greatest hits collection coming out, and he told me that sometimes you would record 4 tracks in a single day. No retakes or anything like that, not like today, months and months doing an album, you know. But what I loved about this particular story was Tommy said he was introduced on this particular show by a famous DJ of the time, and remember, he's only getting a penny per sale, and they are really selling in their millions. So, you know, he wasn't getting rich through Decca Records, let me tell you. But here's the deal. He said his first television appearance, the DJ turned to camera and said, "This isn't my sort of music, but you may like it. Here's Tommy Steele." From those small beginnings became an international career. And if, like me, you truly enjoy superstars who have got huge talent, then do check out Tommy Steele on YouTube. Some wonderful performances on there. Tommy's still performing, by the way. Only a couple of years ago, he had great success in London, starring in the Glenn Miller Story. He is a wonderful friend of the super producer Bill Kenwright, and no doubt they're cooking up some kind of celebration again to make sure Tommy shines on the London stage, and maybe even internationally one more time. I'm sure you'd all like to wish the wonderful Tommy Steele all the very best for becoming, finally, Sir Tommy Steele. Oh, and by the way, let me tell you, apparently Princess Anne, who bestowed this gracious honour on him, is a huge fan too. Who would have known, eh? Neil Sean in the heart of London.